Under the morning haze of the West Philippine Sea, a slender coastline bristles with new radars, missile trucks, and patrol craft. On paper, the armed forces of the Philippines used to be the underdog of Southeast Asia, good at jungle warfare and disaster relief, light on heavy metal. But in 2025, Manila is doing something bolder, stitching together an archipelagic shield, unit by unit, island by island, alliance by alliance. How insanely powerful is the Philippines military now?
We are Filipinos, one nation, one republic, indivisible.
Powerful enough to make a would-be aggressor think twice, and then think a third time when it sees who's standing beside the Philippine flag. Let's be clear from the jump. Power here isn't just a tank count or a parade flex. It's the ability to deny, deter, and if necessary, defeat, especially at sea. It's also the capacity to fight alongside friends and keep your country running when nature throws typhoons at you like fastballs. In 2025, Manila's yardstick is simple. Can we keep our mariners safe, our shoals supplied, and our skies watched without tripping into a war? That's the new doctrine, and it has a name with bite. The Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, CADC, backed by a sweeping reboot of the modernization program known as Rehorizon 3. In January 2024, the Marcos administration approved this overhaul with a headline figure of roughly $35 billion over the next decade. For a country that used to spend most of its defense energy on insurgents, that's a tectonic shift toward external defense. Before we unpack the kit, follow the money. The 2025 defense budget tops roughly 256 billion pesos, with the Army, Air Force and Navy getting real slices for gear and training. That's not fantasy data. It's baked into Manila's appropriations and tracked by defense outlets that follow Philippine procurement like hawks, down to line items for corvettes, helicopters and cyber systems. The point is, this isn't a wish list anymore. It's a shopping cart rolling down the aisle. Now, what is the Philippine soldier, sailor, and airman standing on? Roughly 160,000 active duty personnel as of late 2025, with plans floated to expand toward 220,000 to match the new territorial defense mission. Quantity isn't everything, but combined with better kit and tighter allied training cycles, it matters, especially when you're guarding 7,600 islands and a maritime domain larger than many European countries. At sea, the centerpiece of Manila's new bite is a set of ships that finally look the part in a missile-heavy neighborhood. The Jose Rizal-class frigates, 2 of them, were a first step. The real leap in 2025 arrives with the Hyundai-built Miguel Malvar class, 2 new 3,200-ton guided missile combatants, originally tagged as HDC 3100 corvettes that bring modern sensors, surface-to-air teeth, and anti-ship punch. The lead ship, BRP Miguel Malvar, was launched in 2024 and commissioned in May 2025. Her sister, BRP Diego Salang, followed later in the year. These vessels don't just sail, they network, giving Manila a credible surface combatant corps where once there was mostly patrol tonnage and hope. To thicken that whole line, Manila has 6 offshore patrol vessels under construction with HD Hyundai. OPVs don't fire long-range everything. They do the daily grind. Presence, interdiction, escort, and free up the frigates for the nasty jobs. 2 brand new corvettes, plus a pipeline of OPVs, are what persistent looks like in an archipelago. When those OPVs join the 2 97-meter Coast Guard flagships already in service, and the 5 more 97-meter MRRVs, financed by Japan's JICA for delivery starting 2027, the blue and white side of maritime security gets a turbocharge too. The Philippine Coast Guard's growth doesn't just help fishermen, it complicates any coercion campaign that depends on outnumbering and outlasting Manila at sea. But the most dramatic new shadow on the water isn't a ship at all, it's a shore battery. In 2024, the Philippine Marine Corps' Coastal Defense Regiment began receiving India's BrahMos supersonic anti-ship missile system. with additional deliveries through 2025. Park those on Luzon's west coast, and a hostile frigate has a bad day at sea out to nearly 300 kilometers. This is the beating heart of CADC. Deny access, make the aggressor pay, and do it from home soil where you can reload and hide. It's supersonic message traffic that any admiral can read. Don't. For close-in bite, the Navy's fast attack interdiction craft, the Acero class, based on Israel's Shaldag Mark V, now carry Spike NLOS missiles. Picture nimble gunboats that can fire precision standoff shots while hugging the clutter of the littorals. In April 2024, Manila test-fired Spike NLOS from one of these boats, confirming that small doesn't mean harmless. In tight waters around a shoal, that's a pocket ace. A quick detour to the punchline everyone asks: submarines. The Philippine Navy leadership has been blunt. Submarines are a priority. Paris's naval group has pitched Scorpines hard, even offering training packages and local industry sweeteners. As of 2025, Manila hasn't inked a contract, but senior leaders keep signaling 2 boats minimum as the goal. Submarines change everything for a defending archipelago. They impose uncertainty on an adversary's logistics and can level the playing field without a single surface engagement. If and when Manila signs, that'll be a generational step. Up in the air, the transformation is just as palpable. The workhorse FA-50 light combat jets, once derided as training wheels, just got a vote of confidence that would make any squadron grin. An order for 12 more jets announced in June 2025.
Korea Aerospace Industries has signed a $700 million deal to provide an additional 12 fighter jets to the Philippines.
These are the planes that did the Philippines' first overseas combat aircraft deployment since 1963, when they flew to Australia's pitch black in 2024. They're not Raptors, but in the Philippine context, they deliver speed, radar, modern missiles, and pilot seasoning right now. Add 6 more A-29B Super Tucano light attack planes on the way for coin and maritime overwatch, and the Air Force finally has a layered flight line for the jobs it actually does. And before a single jet leaves the ground, radar must paint the sky. Manila's radar picture is getting sharper by the month. The Israeli ELM 2288 series formed Phase 1. Phase 2 is where Japan steps in. Mitsubishi Electric delivered a J/F PS-3ME fixed long-range radar in late 2023 and a J/TPS P14ME mobile radar in April 2024, with more fixed sites coming online to seal gaps in the north and south. The symbolism is as potent as the hardware. This is Japan's first export of such radars, anchoring a new Manila-Tokyo defense axis that's grown from handshake to legally binding access. Air defense, Manila has moved from zero to respectable. The Spider MR ground-based air defense system, inducted in November 2022, with additional batteries arriving later, gives point and area defense against aircraft and inbound munitions. Exactly the kind of umbrella you need over a forward airstrip or a critical port. It's mobile, trucked, and tailor-made for a country where paved runways and mountain roads sometimes take turns being the same thing. Lift and logistics, the unsexy backbone, are also trending up. The PAF has welcomed additional C-130H tactical transports from the United States, bolstering the ability to move troops and aid across the archipelago on short notice. Airbus C-295s continue to fill the medium-lift niche, and the S-70I Black Hawk fleet is expanding toward 32 airframes under a 2022 order, 10 delivered by mid-2025, giving the Army and Air Force the rotary wing endurance they've lacked. In a crisis, that's how you keep the archipelago stitched together when the sea gets mean. On the deck plates, the Philippine Army hasn't been idle. It's fielding modern 155mm howitzers and guided rockets, upgrading armor and night fighting kit, and integrating with coastal and air defenders as part of the bigger archipelagic shield. Most of this won't trend on social media. It will matter on the worst day imaginable. Also, logistics officers everywhere will tell you the real missile gap is usually a pallet jack.
What about allies?
The amplifier no spreadsheet can fully capture. Start with the US. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty is in force, and Washington has repeatedly, publicly clarified that an armed attack on Philippine public vessels, armed forces, or aircraft, including in the South China Sea, would trigger mutual defense obligations. More than words, the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, now covers 9 sites, including new access points in northern Luzon and Palawan, forward tiles on the chessboard for humanitarian response and deterrence alike. And in 2024 to 2025, the US even brought its Typhoon mid-range missile system to Philippine soil for exercises, a tangible rehearsal for blocking naval corridors if push ever came to shove. Balikatan 2025, the annual US-Philippine exercise, wasn't just a photo op, it was a full battle test involving maritime strike, missile defense, HIMARS, and the US Marine Corps Nemesis anti-ship missile system, with 14,000 plus troops cycling through scenarios that looked suspiciously like sea denial around key straits. The exercise tempo is relentless for a reason. Deterrence likes muscle memory. Zoom out. It's not just the US. Australia